G'day everyone, Hearts of Iron 4 is a very complex game, with each country having an insane amount of focuses, advisors, and decisions. And it can be hard for a new player to wrap their head around this for just one nation, let alone all of them. Well, luckily, today I'm going to teach you how to understand the political and decisions tabs, as well as give you a general guide on how to manage this for any country to make your playthrough successful. So, first things first, let's have a look at the political tab. To open it, click on your nation's flag in the top left of your screen. This will show you some important information that you need to know, such as your current national focus, your ideology, any national spirits you have, and your leader. In the lower half, you'll see a range of policies and advisor slots, which we will cover in a moment. The first thing to note is your ideology, or your government type. There are four main ones in Hoi 4, which are fascist, such as Italy and Germany, communist, like the Soviets and Tanatu, non-aligned, like China or Sweden, and democratic, like the UK and Each has different features which affect your playthrough. For example, a democracy can't manually justify on another country. Fascists and communists can, but a fascist justification is significantly faster than the communists. Communists, however, can puppet nations in a peace deal for cheaper than the other ideologies can. And most non-aligned fascist and communist nations don't have to deal with elections like democracies do. You can see how this can be confusing. As a new player, I would recommend starting out playing as a fascist or communist country, as you can justify on whomever you like, get into a lot of wars, make mistakes, and learn faster. If you look at this section here, you can see any national spirits which are affecting your nation. You can hover over them to show the tooltip with the buff or debuff applied by each of these. Each nation's spirits are unique, so take some time at the start of your game to see what they are. Some of them can be incredibly detrimental, and the only way to get rid of them is through national focuses. Speaking of which, let's look at the confusing beast that is the national focus tree. Here you can see a variety of options providing different bonuses, justifications, factories, resources, and many other goodies to your nation. These focuses cost 1 political power per day to research, but are otherwise free, so it's incredibly important to start completing these from the beginning of your game. And there shouldn't really be a time when you don't have a focus being worked on. If you aren't currently working on a focus, this little notification here will let you know. You can see that some of these are grayed out and some are highlighted. The grayed out ones mean that there are certain conditions which need to be met before you can select that focus. You can hover over them to see the tooltip. For example, this one here, we need to have defeated Ethiopia before we can select this. Most nations' focus trees are unique, however they do tend to follow a standard format, so keep this in mind when you're trying to learn a new country. They usually consist of an industrial path, such as Italy's on the left over here, a political path, such as all these ones over here on the right, and then they'll usually have a combination of an army path, a navy path, and an air force path. Some countries have bigger focus trees than others, and some even have unique features. For example, the Soviets' Purge path, which you can see here. As a general rule early in your game, you want to be doing any of the industrial focuses that will give you a boost to your factory counts, research boosts, and especially the focuses which give you extra research slots. We'll go over research in its own video another time, but as a guide, start off with these ones. The next ones to go for are the political focuses. These are the ones which give you increases to your stability and war support, free war goals on nations, and sometimes even land completely for free. Finally, once you've done a few of those, you can look at your military focuses. The great ones here are any that give you a research boost. So for example, Italy has a 100% boost to fighter research with this focus, which is really strong in the early game. On a side note, the other thing that you should be aware of are these continuous focuses down the bottom here. You need to have completed 10 other focuses as part of your normal tree before you can complete any of these, but these will basically run consistently and give you a constant boost based on which one you select. I would only recommend doing any of these once you've completed most of your other main focuses, or if you need something, for example, the construction repair if you're being bombed. If you keep in mind this basic model we just ran through, then you should be set up pretty well to jump into most nations and have a decent game. Over time, you'll gradually learn the nuances and unique aspects of each country, and if this is something you'd like me to do a video on, just let me know in the comments. If we look at the political tree again here, you'll see that there are a bunch of empty slots down the bottom half of this panel. These are where you can appoint advisors, industry and weapons designers, and military staff to provide further boosts to your nation. You want to be using your political power as soon as you have it to fill these slots. Just a side note as well, we won't dive fully into the military staff, as that's actually part of the officer corps, which will get its own video. Each nation's advisors will be unique in name, but pretty generic in function. Most of them have a few core ones to keep an eye out for. Early game, the Captain of Industry is a really good one to go for. The boost to your civilian factory construction speed will snowball over time. Once you start building military factories, you might want to switch over to the War Industrialist. He'll give you the same boost for military factories and dockyards, as well as fuel silos, but no one builds them. There is also an advisor called the Silent Workhorse. A lot of nations have him, Italy doesn't, F in the chat. I will almost always get this advisor first, as they significantly increase your political power gain, which again snowballs and allows you to get more of the advisors faster and provides you more boosts to your nation. That is a really, really powerful one. If we jump down to the next row here, you can see that we can elect an industrial concern. The one that boosts your industry research is pretty much always the best choice. If we go back up onto the top row, you can see the three options on the left here are different laws that you can enact. I'll go into more detail of the trade and economy laws another time, but the conscription laws are the main way that you can increase your manpower if you're running low, if you're training too many divisions or taking casualties in war. For your economy law, if you find that you're running low on resources and you're trading away a lot of your factories, you can lower your trade law, which will keep more resources in your own economy to use. Similarly, with the economy law, going to war economy or even total mobilization or partial mobilization, they'll let you use more of your factories for construction, rather than some being lost to making consumer goods, such as when you're on civilian economy. Look at that, 35%. That is insane. All of these are important ways you can directly interact with your country and influence how strong you will be as you prepare for or even fight in a war. The other way you can do so is in your decisions tab. Haha, what a great segue. These are all the different actions and policies you can put into place to give usually temporary bonuses or boosts that affect your nation. They are handily split up into categories. Some you'll use more frequently than others. Again, you can hover over each of them to see what they do. Much like with the political focuses, you will see the little notification pop up the top here to show you when you have decisions that are available to take. They usually cost political power, and this will appear when you have enough of it to click one and any conditions have been met. Some decisions you won't want to take regardless of if you've got the political power or not. You can actually mute them by clicking on this green button next to the decision there. You can also mute an entire category by clicking this green button, and then if you don't want it in your way and taking up your screen, you can click this collapse button and make this all neat and tidy. As a quick guide for some of the best ones to look out for, the improved worker conditions is really great for increasing your stability. Also, while you're at war, the war propaganda decisions are fantastic to increase your war support, preventing you from getting mutinies. A side note, if your stability or war support is below 50%, when you're at war, you will likely get strikes or mutinies. So make sure you keep them high. Also, only available to you while at war is the War Bonds decision. This is super strong. It's a temporary boost which will reduce your consumer goods factories, which means more of your civilian factories are going into your construction queue. New thanks to No Step Back, we have the Commandeer Civilian Trains mission, which is really great if you're a small nation with only a few factories. This will bump up your stockpile at a small cost of stability. Now, please keep in mind, this is a generic guide for new players to start off with as they're getting into the game. It should set you up pretty well if you follow along with these rules in most of your playthroughs, but please remember, you can absolutely try different things that you feel will suit your playstyle, and honestly, it's the best way to learn. Go for focuses that you don't know what they do. Get an advisor whose ability isn't clear to you. Put a message in the comments or ask in my Discord if you're not 100% sure what a particular decision will do. It's all about trial and error and learning, and it's the best part about this game. But with that being said, I hope you found this helpful and entertaining, and if you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to see when I post new videos. I also stream on Twitch, my link is in the description, so please stop by and say g'day, and I'll see you in the next one.